This is the #1 real estate investing strategy that I use to become a millionaire.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel all about real estate. My name is Lewis, and in today's video we're going to do something just a little different. I saw this really interesting video clip on what we call the Brrrr strategy, which is buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. And it was on the Dave Ramsey show, and some of the commentators there were talking about it. They reacted to this TikTok video. Thought it was really interesting here. Now, if you are new to the channel and you like all things finance, real estate, and investing, consider liking and subscribing to see more content just like this. Without further ado, let's get right to it.
This is the #1 real estate investing strategy that I use to become a millionaire.
Oh, that's a little over the top.
Method.
Oh,
B,
jeez.
buy a property for a good price or below market value that preferably needs some TLC.
Okay.
R, renovate or repair the property so
Lot of
that
jump
you
cuts.
can make it attractive
Take the
to
fur
future
off it.
tenants and pay the rent.
Their commentary in the background is cracking me up a little bit.
R, rent out the property to a tenant with good credit.
Oh, boy.
R, refi.
Oh, jeez. Oh, boy.
Once you have revenue coming into your property and you build some equity, you
Yep.
go back to the bank
That's
and
it.
get a
Nothing
cash
could
refi.
go
Or
wrong.
repeat this process again with the money the bank gave you and buy another revenue property.
Of course.
For
It's
more
that
real estate facts and tips,
Oh, here
follow
we
me
go.
on TikTok and Instagram.
Okay.
So I'll get into my thoughts on the Brrrr strategy here in just a minute, but I want to go ahead and see their reaction. But I did find the TikTok video entertaining. It doesn't fully describe that process in great detail, so there's more information that would obviously be needed if you wanted to execute this strategy. But initially I thought, okay, it's fun, it's entertaining. I'm really curious to see what they have to say.
Pep in that interview and that whole thing,
Lot of
whatever
pep
you
in the
call
step.
that. But then she went TikTok at the end, and I completely forgot everything she said before that.
Well, she's got a future as an actress if the real estate thing doesn't work out. A lot of acting going on there.
The real estate thing is not going to work out for her, George.
Well-
this is This is an old playbook.
This is old school, brought to a new school.
I am pretty curious to see what they mean about this being an old school strategy. This strategy was around before they even called it the Brrrr method. I think the folks over at Bigger Pockets, like Brandon Turner, David Green, I think they came up with the name Brrrr more recently, probably in the last maybe 5 to 8 years or something like that. But it's something that's been around, and savvy investors have been doing it for a very long time. So I don't know what they're referring to by old school strategy. Maybe they're talking about market timing because the market has gotten more expensive. Maybe this strategy is harder to execute, but let's continue.
Platform. And here's what it's doing. The young kids out there, kids in their 20s and their 30s, my age, they're going,
Yeah.
this is my path because I am saddled with student loan debt. I'm
Yeah.
living off credit cards. I've got a car payment. I need a way to make a lot of money fast.
Go into debt now, even more debt, and then sell it. Oh, no, rent it to a renter,
It's a
then repeat the
foolproof
process.
plan.
She basically said, go into debt, have somebody rent it, and then repeat the process, go into more debt.
It
and
reminds
build up
me-
more rent.
So just a quick pause there. I don't know with certainty that the audience she's trying to reach is young folks. To their point, going into debt when you have a lot of consumer debt or what we would consider maybe non-productive or bad debt would probably not be a great idea. If you have a lot of credit cards, car payments, student loans, things like that, then maybe this method is not for you. They're alluding to the fact that it's a way to make money very quickly. I would argue that this is a very technical, advanced strategy that would require a very savvy investor and operator to be able to execute it properly.
So what this advice is saying, which is diametrically opposed, in case you're wondering, is saying that you need to maximize every possible dollar of bank debt you can get access to. So here's the idea. Leverage debt out your eyeballs to have maximum cash flow and hope that everything works out perfectly on paper.
Yeah. And then you will, in a matter of years, have a private jet that you can pose next to because of the Instagram influencers you follow, and they're driving this drivel into people's heads. Okay.
They're not necessarily wrong about this strategy. The idea is that you want to increase the velocity of money by taking on more fixed rate and productive debt. 30-year fixed rate mortgage debt. And then you want to keep reinvesting that money to grow your streams of income, to grow your portfolio in real estate and ultimately grow your net worth. The challenge is that, like I mentioned previously, the challenge is over leveraging yourself and not knowing where or how those numbers fall. So the way this strategy works is that first of all, you're buying a property at a discount because it needs a substantial amount of work. Then you're renovating it, which is improving its value and forcing the appreciation. Then you place a tenant. Then you go back to the bank and you refinance, and the idea is to pull out your initial cash investment. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky. You have to really know and understand how the numbers work in that scenario, because she wasn't saying to over leverage the property. She was saying that you refinance, you pull the cash out, and then you repeat the process. Now, if you pull cash out to a point where you have a negative carry or you don't have enough rental income or cash flow to service or operate that property, that is a big problem. You have a negative carry on a property, you cannot continue to repeat this process. So the idea is that leverage the property responsibly, get cash back, which increases the velocity of money and allows you to continue growing your portfolio and ultimately your net worth. Most of the time, a bank will not let you take cash out above 80% of the home's value anyway, but I would argue with a process like this, especially in today's market where things are starting to get expensive, you probably don't want to, leverage more than maybe 65-70% of that home's value. For one, you might have trouble cash flowing. So let's continue to hear what they have to say.
Charge what the rent was at the top of the market.
Which hurts your profits because you're stuck paying this giant mortgage payment because you had nothing down on this property.
Yeah. Then what continues to happen,
Then there's
George?
property taxes, there's insurance, there's all the maintenance.
What happens
the
if you
upkeep.
can't pay that, George?
Well, foreclosure could happen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So now you go back to Instagram
And you
look
multiply
for
this
her.
out.
What do you do? What has she got for you on on TikTok after that happens to you?
Well, they
Is
never
there
talk
another
about that
video?
part. They don't talk about when it goes wrong. It's all the
Oh.
promises of what could be and all the money you could make and the cash flow that could happen. Could.
I
Then
think we've made our point.
we
Don't
find-
take real estate advice from the TikTok.
I think we're going to see a whole new generation of the young Dave Ramseys who are filing for bankruptcy and going, well, that was a bad move. I was leveraged with 10 properties and $1 million in debt. And I've seen these TikToks, people bragging that they're $15 million in debt.
Oh, yeah. By the way, can I point out something else on all these platforms, whether it be Facebook, Insta, TikTok? Anytime you see one of these, here's how you get really stinking rich videos, they always play the part, the giant fur, standing next to a private jet.
Real estate guru.
They're enticing people into a trap, and it is all about stuff. Every one of those videos, by the way, and I'm going to step on some toes here, I don't care. Because every one of those influencers that do this, they are selling an unbelievably extravagant lifestyle.
Yep.
They're not selling purpose. They're not selling financial peace. They're not selling significant contribution to your fellow man. They're not.
It's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
It's
What they're selling you is risk.
It's all lifestyles of the rich and famous, caviar, all that crap. It's a trap. It's a trap.
So I don't totally disagree with this, but I think it is really interesting. I mean, the idea that folks sell courses to generate income, that's obviously true. There's plenty of people out there doing that. There's plenty of people that have controversial opinions or different takes on, how to build wealth. But I'm a huge fan of the Ramsey Show. I'm a huge fan of Dave Ramsey. But at the same time, isn't he selling courses and books and content? Although I do believe highly in their message and some of the things he just talked about, having financial peace and purpose and things like that are more important than just having material items. But they're using the platform to reach more people and help millions of people. And I think that some of these other folks, even if it may be misguided according to kind of what they're talking about, I think they're trying to do something similar. Well, there you have it. That is the BRRRR strategy: buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. I think we know how the Ramsey Show feels about it. I have a little difference in opinion, but overall, I do agree with many of the points that they made. I think that the audience that maybe most people are trying to reach is some that are a little bit young, impressionable, and they haven't gotten to the point where they really understand the risks that are associated with executing a strategy like this. Anyway, little different style video today. I saw this. I thought it was super interesting. I wanted to share it with you. Have you heard of the Brrrr strategy? Have you tried the Brrrr strategy? If you have, leave your comments below. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.